again. And she stops me. I don't even think she realizes she's already seen me. And she goes, waves and is like, good job. And I'm like, do I know you? And she goes, I don't think so. And I was like, well, you're acting like someone who knows me. And if you knew me, you'd know that I'm on this trail all the time. So it's really not that exciting. So now you know. And then I just took off running. I am so petty, but in the most delightful way ever.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Glitter and Lasers, or Anna. If you're not familiar with who that is, this is her right here. She is on pretty much any social media platform you can think of, but here, this is her Instagram. She has 1.1 million followers, so she has quite a bit of followers. You know, she says, finding joy in everyday life, redefining self-care, fashion, fitness, food, and fun, world traveler, and dog mom. Now, Anna has been, you know, popular for a while. She was, it's hard to really explain, but she was like really pretty popular in like the body positivity space. And recently she's actually been losing weight, but she tries to make it clear that her whole page isn't about weight loss. She's always been about kind of like about fashion, talking about that stuff. But more recently, it's clear that she has, you know, found a passion for working out and for weight loss, as you can see through a lot of her content that's going on. But she's always been really comfortable. At least she's, you know, she stated that she's always been really comfortable, as you can see, kind of like showing her body that maybe is not conventionally what is like the norm, right? And so that's been something that a lot of people have really liked. She's always really been about being confident in yourself for a long time. Yeah, it says it still. Confidence Queen is in her profile, right? So she's always been about being confident no matter what your size is. You know, I think something that most people can agree with. You know, there's some people that didn't like that, but regardless, it is what it is. Before we go any further, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Element for sponsoring this video. If you're not familiar with what Element is, it is an electrolyte drink. It has a lot of other stuff in it as well. I've been using them pretty much every single day because, if you don't know, I'm currently training for a half marathon and I am a very sweaty person. And so I really feel that they have been helping me with rehydrating after the amount that I sweat from each run. And so I highly recommend, if you are someone like maybe you're working out, and especially if you sweat a lot, I really recommend them. They taste really good. I think for me personally, my favorite flavors have been the citrus and watermelon. I really enjoy those. They also have some newer ones that you can add into hot water for like a kind of like a chocolatey drink. But yeah, I really like the fruity flavors. So if you are curious and you want to try that out, if you feel like maybe your hydration, you're just drinking water and you feel like you're always kind of thirsty or you're not getting enough, I recommend it. They taste really good. So if you do want to check it out, there will be a link down in the description. You can go ahead and click on that. And anyone that clicks on that link will get a free gift with purchase. So feel free to check it out. And huge thanks to Element for sponsoring this video. Now, there has been a few things that have happened recently where people have kind of taken umbrage, is that a word people use? Taken umbrage with the way that she has said or acted in public. Now, there was a huge thing that happened, this was a few months ago, where a lot of people had an issue with the way that she acted in a Target. She went to a Target and she went to do like a plus size beauty haul, kind of showing her clothes that she could wear at Target. And apparently she wasn't super happy with the options that she had. And a lot of people felt she acted like really out of pocket in the Target, going and redressing mannequins. I'll do my best to maybe I'll get some clips from Megan Ann. I know she did a video. I'll try and kind of put those in here so you guys can kind of get an idea.
Oh. What about this? This was supposed to be a fun and joyful trip, but it's turning out kind of sad.
You're not in the plus size section. You are a plus size person still. I know. And the thing is with this, like, I have been here. I've been on shopping trips where I wanted to find some cute clothes and nothing fit. Like yesterday, I was trying to figure out an outfit to wear. I am bloated because I'm waiting for Mother Nature to come visit this week. And like, none of my clothes fit. And I was just like, I have had it with pants. I have had it with clothes. I get it. It's frustrating, right? And so I just want to say, like, I have been here. And it's also frustrating when, like, you are losing weight, you have lost weight. I think she's lost like 100 pounds, which is nothing to like scoff at, right? And like, I get it when you have lost 100 pounds and maybe your body isn't changing in ways that you thought it would. And so like things that you look at and think they should fit you don't. And I understand the frustration with that because I have been there. I was there when like I was shedding a bunch of weight right after I had weight loss surgery, all that. Like I've been there and I get the frustration 100%. But I think the aggressive way in which she is just like putting stuff back, messing things up for the employees that work there is like incredibly unnecessary and is very like toddler tantrum-esque.
A lot of people just really didn't like the way that she was acting and the way that she was kind of treating this target and almost like talking bad about these employees that are working there that are just like, you know, minimum wage workers. They're not, it was a whole thing, right? And so that kind of started some discourse talking about people feeling like maybe she, like just her persona or maybe the things that she puts out isn't exactly how she is in real life. That's kind of been the discourse, I guess you could say. Now, I do want to say, I think most people are not exactly what they put out in their videos or on their content. And I personally don't think that's a bad thing. But of course I say that because I am the person that doesn't share exactly who I am in my videos. I know it might be a shocker, but most of the time I am, you know, I'm not extroverted at all. I'm actually quite an introvert. So when I'm out in public, I'm not very loud. I don't talk to people. I keep a low profile, right? But obviously when I'm filming these videos, I'm not gonna be like, hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel. And it's just, you know, so there is a version of me that is a little bit different in real life. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Now, it goes a little bit further with Anna, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So like I stated earlier, Anna has been, you know, working out more, going out and running on this trail. And there have been some interactions that Anna has had with some woman that Anna has shared on her story. So what we're going to be talking about today is a couple different stories that Anna uploaded. Now, this first one is right after she had finished this run right here. So I'm just going to kind of let her explain it. But apparently she had already had an interaction that wasn't the best with some woman on this trail, and apparently she had another interaction with her this day, and this was her response to that woman. I hope that makes sense, but yeah.
Y'all are not gonna believe this. So, I'm walking on the trail, and I pass that lady again, and she stops me. I don't even think she realizes she's already seen me. And she goes, waves, and is like, good job, and I'm like, do I know you? And she goes, I don't think so. And I was like, well, you're acting like someone who knows me. And if you knew me, you'd know that I'm on this trail all the time. So it's really not that exciting. So now you know. And then I just took off running. I am so petty, but in the most delightful way ever. You can be nice and a bad bitch.
So that was the first video. Now, before I share my thoughts, because I do have thoughts, I do want to play, there was basically a response from her that she uploaded on her stories, I think either the next day or later that day.
I woke up to a couple people really disappointed to how I talked to the lady on the trail yesterday.
Also, I'm sorry that the audio is a little desynced, but there's nothing I can really do about it.
And I realized not everybody watches my stories every day, and I think people missed last week's story where I ran into this woman.
So, yeah, like, this is something that it's surprising. I would assume that she would know this, right? Like, especially on Instagram, like the stories, like I'll have days where my stories will get up to 30,000 views, right? And then I'll have days when I'm not kidding, I'll have maybe 3,000 views. And so it's like, I think it makes sense to maybe just kind of explain a little bit, especially if you don't want to deal with people saying stuff where you're like, well, you don't understand the full story. Like, I think it would make sense to share the full story before you went into this, especially if you don't want to deal with people, you know, kind of just seeing that story and being like, Jesus, like, why would you be so mean to someone that's just saying, like, you know, keep up the good work, or like, it's good to see you out here, right?
The same exact woman. And she said something like, you know, getting out there is the first step or something like this. And granted, I go on the trail, I've probably been on 100 times this year, okay? And I didn't even say anything to her initially. And I don't even know if I told this part of the story or not, but she just kept going. And she kept saying things that just implied that I was really out of shape. And then she wanted me to thank her for that. And it was really, really awkward. I had had a really bad day and I burst out into tears and I was like full on crying. And I'm not a person that.
So I know that it can be kind of frustrating. I think if you are someone that's bigger that has been working out for a while and people maybe you might feel like it's patronizing. I choose to believe that people, like, I would rather believe that someone has a good intentions than them trying to be patronizing. But I can understand, like, I have a similar story, but it was a completely positive one, but I know that it could have been very annoying. Let me explain. So when I first started this like weight loss journey, because I had tried many times before, but when I first started this weight loss journey, the only things that I was comfortable at the gym doing were basically cardio. So I would be on the elliptical a lot. I remember one day I was on the elliptical and I'd been on it for a while. I am a very sweaty person, so I was sweating a lot. I still sweat a lot. And this older gentleman that I had seen at the gym a lot had come up to me, and he just kind of came up to me and he said, "Hey man, I just want to say I saw you in here, and I just want to say keep up the good work." This guy was probably in his 60s or something like that, right? But as I had continued going to that gym, I could see that if you go to the gym a lot, you know, like older dudes, they like to talk. And so he would just talk to a lot of people. And so this guy was clearly one of those dudes. And I definitely didn't want him to always come up to me and say, you know, congratulations or whatever. And so I just tried to make it clear in our interactions to be very short and not in a mean way, but just like, I'm not going to entertain a super long conversation. And it kind of worked. He didn't always come up to me, you know, he'd maybe do the wave. I think most of us that have been to the gym often know how that is. And that's kind of how I dealt with it. But for me, it was genuinely like a good feeling, because it was like someone acknowledging me that I knew obviously goes to the gym a lot, noticing me. I know not everyone likes to be noticed, and I personally don't like to be perceived that often when I'm in public. So I get it, but it does feel like this feels like a little bit at least of an overreaction, right? Initially, that's what I feel when I watch this.
Does this. I've never had this type of interaction on the trail before. And people have said weird things to me before. And the fact that she didn't remember that interaction and approached me the exact same way is why I said what I said. Now,
So when I hear that, it's just like, that is just a weird way to think, right? Like that she didn't remember me. I wouldn't expect anyone to remember me if we had just one interaction. And especially if it's on a trail, if there are a lot of people on the trail, I don't know. Like I wouldn't expect to remember someone, and I hope that people wouldn't expect me to remember them if we've met one time when we talked for like 15 seconds maybe, right? It seems a little, I don't know. It just seems a little strange to me.
You're learning that if you're still disappointed in me, I kindly encourage you to unfollow me, because I am proudly setting my boundaries this year. And that woman crossed those boundaries once, and I wasn't about to give her the opportunity to cross them again. I come to the trail for two reasons: to feel the strength of my body and to find peace. And I am not about to let somebody take that away from my active lifestyle. Those things are important to me. And I didn't do it in a way where I made fun of her. I didn't do it in a way where I hurt her, but I did do it in a way to remind her that we had already had a conversation and it had already made me feel uncomfortable, and that I had no need or want to have that conversation again. And there is, in my mind, nothing wrong with that. Now, everything is based on opinion, so if you disagree, that's super cool. I'm just not the creator for you, because this is how I live and I have no regrets for what I did.
So that's the total of the videos. I don't know, man. It feels like, of course you can feel that way, but I absolutely think there is a way to have this interaction where you're not as just like over the top. And let's be real, right? Did this really happen exactly the way that it was stated? Maybe not, right? Did this even happen? Who knows? Like it could be completely fabricated. I would be surprised if that was the case, but it absolutely is possible that it could not have happened. I just find it so strange to, like, I could understand if this woman was like, this is what you're supposed to do. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. This is the best thing. Because there are people that are like that, and they're freaking annoying, okay? Trust me, I get it. I have been there. People do that to me all the time. I see people do it to other people all the time. It happens, right? But from what we have heard in both of these interactions, this person was relatively nice. They were not saying, you're not allowed, you can't run, or you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing this. They're just saying, hey, like, it's good to see you out here, whatever. I feel like okay, this is gonna be therapist John. I'm putting on my therapist hat. I am not a therapist, but like, it feels like there's almost this sense of Anna feeling like people are having this perception of Anna, and then they're like, they think, oh, this woman has never worked out before in her life, and she is obviously super unfit, so I'm going to be the person that comes out and encourages her, right? I don't know if that's necessarily true from those people, and obviously I don't know if Anna is thinking that, but like, even if that's the thought, like, it shouldn't, I don't know, the way I see it, like, you shouldn't let that bother you so much. Like, if someone thinks that you're out here working hard, and even if it's your first workout, like, let them think that. I don't know. Like, eventually, like, if you go out on this trail so often, it seems like you'll probably see this woman often because you've seen her twice already. Eventually, she will be like, oh yeah, I've seen her before. It's just, it feels like if this had happened 10 times, then okay. Like, leave me alone, brother. Like, I've seen you many times. We don't need to have this conversation every time. You don't even have to say it like that. You could just, like, ignore. I don't know. That's what I do. If I have my headphones in, I just act like I didn't hear you. I didn't see you wave at me. I'm locked in, brother. I'm not paying attention. But, like, it happened 2 times. And so it feels like an overreaction. But I don't know. Like, I understand that it can be difficult when you're in a bigger body to have people maybe assume certain things of you. But I don't know. I wanted to share this story, and I'm just genuinely curious what other people think, because obviously I said what I think, but I would love to know what you think down in the comment section down below. Peace.